The technology group has sort of broken our areas of study into 4 areas. Those areas are integration of technology into law offices, courtroom technology, technology that performs legal/lawyer work, and being optimistic that we are areas of work and employment opportunities created by technology. There's no question that technology is going to impact our practices. It's already impacted our practices. And I think the challenge for Vision 2016, for the Florida Bar, and for all of the subgroups, including mine, is how do we predict what's going to happen in the future. And our group has looked at this probably a little bit more simplistically, and that answer is the technologies that already exist are the ones that are going to be affecting us. There's technologies that we have seen evidenced by the presentation today. Obviously, those are technologies that already exist in the world. The question is, how much adaptation do those have to have in our law practices for us to be successful? And what level of technological competence does the future lawyer have to have in order to be successful? And the way that our committee is looking at this right now is to say which technologies are going to be the most prevalent. And in that way, we're not identifying specific products. We're just identifying specific processes and technological advancements that we expect to be incorporated into what we now consider to be the traditional law practice. And if you haven't already started to incorporate those, we envision recommending that you do start incorporating those. And we're going to go beyond that. We're going to recommend some, I expect, we still have 2 years to go, some institutional change, both within the Florida Bar and within the court system, to the extent that we can affect that change within the court system, so that these processes, as they're ever changing, will be known to the bar as early as possible and will be advanced to the lawyers as early as possible. And it will be, I expect, the bar's responsibility, because if the bar doesn't take it on, it will be outside vendors. The bar's responsibility to educate the lawyers on the minimum standards of technological competence so that they can advance their practices. And Jordan has made the point at several presentations that we've watched, and I have slowly, begrudgingly become a believer that the efficiency that technology will allow for our practice will allow us to serve clients that we haven't traditionally served, and in that way, being the optimist that our committee insists on being, will broaden the marketplace. We have a firm belief that is going to occur and be beneficial for us, even if that means that certain practices that we're traditionally used to exercising aren't the same types of practices that we consider doing. So I know that's very generalistic, but I believe that when our report comes out in whatever form and function that finds, the end goal will be a practical application of technologies into your law practices and into the court systems so that we're ready for the next phase. I'll mention something that a lot of you may already know this. When I first found this out, I was shocked to learn it, as were many people. The Florida court system has its own technology group, and they advance the technological ball as they see fit independently. They have already approved and will happen when they can make it technologically available, a TurboTax type system that will be installed in every circuit courthouse in the state to resolve the overload that pro se family law matters have on the court system. And so you will be able, the pro se individual, will be able to go into the clerk of court's office in the courthouse, and there'll be a computer there, and they will be able to, just like a TurboTax type system, check the box, fill in your name. Are you the petitioner? Are you the respondent? Do you have any children? How much money do you have? Check, check, check. Follow it on down till the end. Boom. It's electronically filed. You have now started the process of getting divorced. Obviously, this is intended for people that have the lowest level, true indigent status, but it's an example of how the court is already taking action, and how it will have some impact on certain lawyers. It will have some impact on maybe more on younger lawyers who otherwise would have learned their trade that way. But this is something that I would bet many, many Florida lawyers, this is the 1% in this room who probably is the most knowledgeable on these subject matters, have no clue is coming. And it's already a foregone conclusion. It's just a matter of when. And if that's happening already within our own state, within our own courtrooms, it's just evidence that we need to connect the dots. I've had a lot of talk with bar leadership to assure that the interplay between the bar and the court system and the attorneys, and as Jordan mentioned, some of the other groups that are working on this happens, because otherwise we may come up with inconsistent results. So I've already spoken way more than I intended to. It's an absolutely daunting task. I have no idea. I appreciate Jerry Riskin's comments. The only way that you can ever accomplish this task is if you really refuse to act like a lawyer, because every single time that we try and decide what our product is going to look like, we get paralyzed, because the future of this seems absolutely daunting and overwhelming. But the process has been enlightening, and I think that we will come up with a very practical and useful product for Florida lawyers to adopt. So with that, who do I hand it over to? You, Jay?
Yeah, if you would. I just have one last question for you, name and product.
Well, hopefully that will happen before we're done. We are, at the direction of President Coleman, we're retooling LOMAS. I think, we recognize that there's an immediate need for lawyers to be aware of technologies, products, tools, and solutions that are already available that they should be using. I think we will probably stay away from identifying specific products, but it will be our intention to ask the bar, and to the extent we can, to ask the Board of Governors to direct the bar to come up with exactly that. If LOMAS is not, or the retooled LOMAS is not already doing that, then that's going to need to be made available to the Florida lawyers, and I don't think there's going to be a better entity that can do that than the Florida Bar.